Welcome to Podheim, Jiroc's Valheim podcast. Let's give him the business.
Hey everybody, today is January 24th, 2023. I'm your host, Jiroc the Viking, and joining me today are my fellow Vikings, Gwen, the Shield Maiden.
Hello.
We also have Shield Maiden, Morning Darkness.
Hello.
And joining us today is Vaste, who we haven't seen in a little bit, but in digital form again.
Ahoy!
Digivaste is sounding really human today.
Yeah, he is. And excited. Ahoy, matey Viking Vaste. How goes the pirate quest on Jotun Quest? Were you able to update it with the new mods and get it running okay?
Yeah, it's working.
Oh, nice. Yeah, he created a huge Viking pirate quest. Even has what's that? Like a little town on an island where the pirates hang out, and a black market.
Like tavern.
Yeah, like a tavern.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And it's got a black market trader, and you start you get there pretty quickly, and you start your quest there, and then you go all over the place, and there's buried treasure and a sunken ship and all kinds of fun stuff, and then you got to fight a kraken.
Nice.
Yeah, it will take you all around the world.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
that sounds fun.
Yeah, that it took him some time, and the players seemed to really enjoy that one. For the modded server, we can do stuff like that because we have a mod that adds quests. So just a little fun thing over there. But so let me let you guys know what's coming up on the show this week real quickly. We've got 2 new Valheim news items. Pretty exciting. One about the Ashlands and another one about a big change coming to helmets soon. We've got more tips and tricks. Valheim tips and tricks. Can never have too many of those. I think we have Valheim trivia, right? Morning Darkness?
We do. Yes.
Yay.
Cool. And just a bunch of other stuff. Before we get too far into this, you might notice, each week Gwen and I have a little different thing going on. So Gwen, what's on your melon there today?
Well, I kind of am the melon today, it seems. Not quite the right color, but
the watermelon.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. Yeah. In keeping with the beanie theme from last week, it's really cold here. The temperatures dropped under freezing temperatures. So
wow.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, at the moment, that's what I'm wearing when I go outside is beanies. But yeah, I noticed you have a cap on, and I do have a couple of caps. So, maybe you and I should circulate a memo a couple of days before so we can coordinate a little bit our hat looks.
Well, let me know. I may, like I said, I have about 20 or so of these kinds of ball cap style hats. So yeah, maybe we can coordinate something if you have something similar. Is there any story behind that beanie, or is it just one of the beanies in your collection and it's cold, so you're wearing it?
It's literally, I don't know. I don't even know where I bought it. I think I bought it as a set with a scarf, and it was cheap and cheerful, and it was great for walking the dog in the winter. So that's literally it. No special story behind this one.
I should have taken your lead and worn a beanie too. It's kind of cold in here. I should put some long sleeves on too.
Yeah, I was going to say you're wearing a t-shirt. How?
Yeah,
it's not that cold here.
Well, when you've just been sitting at the desk for a while and you don't have the heater running, then your body temperature goes down. But once I get up and start walking around the house, then I get too hot. So.
Yeah, but that's why I have a blanket on me, you see. I've got a nice warm fleece blanket that stays on my legs, on my lap pretty much all day when I'm working.
Yeah. Well, my hat here, you see, it's kind of got this little like camouflage in red. I don't know if I'm going to hide in the fire, I guess maybe. But it says on the hat there, it says Hot Hattie B's Chicken.
Oh.
Yeah.
Is that the one that you talked about from Nashville?
Yeah.
I was just gonna say.
Nice.
Yeah, it's now one of my brightest colored hats. Ball caps. I don't have too many super bright like this, but I saw it and I like the design and it fit and it's comfortable, which is weird because these ball caps, they're not all comfortable to wear. They have little pinch zones here in the middle where the seam is underneath, where it goes across the forehead. And sometimes I don't like the way it feels. So, but this one, it was like, yeah, give me some of that Hattie B's hot chicken.
Looks cool. And Morning Darkness also has a lovely hood.
Oh yeah,
It's just my vest that I have that has some green in it, so I disappear.
Yeah, I was like, is that a magical hood?
Apparently,
it's a cloak of invisibility.
Oh yeah. In between phases, getting between shifting invisible and coming out of invisibility. Let's see here. So, did anybody do anything interesting this week? Maybe Gwen? I got a picture. Should I bring that up now?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Sure. I've been working hard. I've basically spent my weekend working on this next video that I'm going to post.
Oh.
If you remember, if you're a long-time Podheim or regular Podheim listener, you remember that last week we announced a couple of news that Iron Gate posted, and some of the changes, especially the ones that I really was excited about, were around the new outfits in game.
Yeah.
And I'm working on a dedicated video that I will post about that. As
Exciting.
Again, long-time listeners would know that I am a big history and like costuming fan.
Oh
and I do living history and reenactment as a hobby, not necessarily Viking Age, a bit later than that, 12th century. But I really like the Viking era too, so I may or may not have made myself a bunch of. I think have more Viking kit than 12th century kit, but it's more or less the same. Like it's just the accessories and some of the things change. But
that looks so good, though.
Yeah, thanks. That's my. So this outfit I actually wore on the 10K. Jiroc's 10K subscriber video. Okay. So it's the same one. And the only real thing that's authentic on this is maybe the stuff around my belt, like the belt and the stuff on it, and the brooches and the beads. But the tunic that I'm wearing is actually not quite. The shape is authentic. The under tunic is almost authentic in the sense that I think it was like a cotton linen blend instead of being 100% linen because I bought it, for cheap.
It looks nice though.
Yeah, I mean, it is at least 50% linen, though, the under tunic, the beige one. So, I need to work on the sleeves because they're really baggy. They should not be that baggy. But it was my very first kind of sewing project, like full-on clothing project. Mm-hmm. And then the blue apron dress on top of it is also linen, pure linen, this one. Mm-hmm. It's just like a lot. It should have been wool, and it's also too dark, but still looks nice. I like it. It's my summer Viking festival outfit. It's like more of a Ren Fair thing at that point, it's very Viking inspired, but not fully authentic. But I really like the look of it. I love the colors, and it's really comfortable to wear in the summer because it's all linen and cottons and stuff.
That's the thing.
Wearing wool in the summer sucks.
Yeah. That's actually because I bought my wool outfit, my Viking outfit. I still have it because I bought it in the summer. Then I replaced it with linen. But I should pull it out now because I'm cold. So I should start wearing it.
Yeah. Basically, I spent my weekend working on that video. Saturday morning, I got up early to go film a bunch of footage of me wearing male and then female outfits. And it was freaking cold. It was like -4 degrees and it was so cold. And I was really glad that I was also wearing like the woolen stuff. But I was also wearing wool. They're called hose, but they're basically like stockings that I have for my 12th century gear. I was wearing that on top of like a pair of socks. And I was so glad for it because it kept my feet and my legs relatively warm. And And I ended up like wearing that outfit all day after I got home because I was like too cold to get changed. And I was like slowly thawing from having been in the cold. And I ended up just like, keeping my woolen stockings all day because it was nice and warm. So yeah, in the winter, it's great. In the summer, not so much. And I have to do it for whenever we do reenactment shows. Most of the shows that we do are over the summer because it's like most of them are outdoors. So that's when the weather's fairly predictable or a bit more predictable.
Yeah.
And some days, like when it's over 25 degrees and you have to wear your thick woolen tunic because you're portraying a peasant who can only afford wool, it's
miserable.
tough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, do you have a full linen outfit that you could have worn, like a dress and tunic and all that you could have worn during this winter time?
In the summer, you mean? Or
no, like that you could wear now? Because this you said you were cold in this, right? But
yeah, because this is all linen. I do have not an apron dress. I should like get wool to make myself an apron dress in wool at some point. That would be nice. But I do have a wool dress that you'll see in the video. That is actually my 12th century one. But honestly, tunics have not and dresses have not changed in couple of 100 years between that time. So it's just a simple dress, a bit like the under tunic that I'm wearing. It's fairly similar. And that one is wool and it is nice because it keeps you warm. But it's a bit plain. It's not very exciting compared to the apron dress, which is a really cool thing that the Viking women wore. So that's a little like preview of the video that is hopefully going to be released at some point this week.
Cool. And Digivaste, you did something fun this last week, didn't you? You want to share?
I went with some friends to watch Avatar: The Way of the Water, the new movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you like it?
I like it, yeah. I really like the first ones, and this one is the same formula. It looks amazing.
Yeah.
The story is nice. It's nothing to that it won't blow your mind. It's good enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the story of Avatar 2 is the story of a family that moves into a new neighborhood and their kids are bullied by the local neighborhood kids. That's the story of Avatar 2. So
got it.
If after we watch it, we were talking with my friends and we say, it's the same as the first one.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, with the threat from the human military, yeah, it's basically the same story, but with water and neighborhood bullies.
Yeah, and it looks insane. So I really don't care. I knew I was going to watch it for what he did with the visuals and not for the story.
Yeah.
Did you watch it in 3D?
No, I couldn't because a few of my friends use glasses all the time. So 3D is impossible.
Yeah, it's uncomfortable to put those over regular glasses. Yeah.
Yeah. Especially if you have to stay with them for 3 hours.
Oh, yeah. That's a long movie.
It can also cause other problems depending on if you have an astigmatism. Mm-hmm. I know I don't really have to wear glasses, but I do have an astigmatism. And if I put on the 3D glasses, if I watch in 3D, it's not good.
Do you get a headache like I do?
Yes.
I get a terrible headache after about an hour.
Raging.
Yeah.
Raging headache.
Yeah.
I don't have that problem. I will gladly we watch it again if I get someone to go with me to 3D or 4D because there's a 4D room in one of the cinemas of my city.
Cool. Well, yeah, I mean, the 3D is kind of a fun effect, but for me, I mean, as a filmmaker, it just seems a little gimmicky. They're just trying to find another way to get you to spend your money to go experiment. And it was funny, like when the first Avatar came out, they sort of revived 3D. There was like a big uprise in 3D sales, but then it quickly dropped off. Like people, they actually stopped making movies in 3D because people were not buying those tickets. They were preferring the normal ones. So.
Also, Avatar, the first one, was fully filmed in 3D, and that's what made it kind of like special and so on. But a lot of movies that came after that, they were actually filmed in 2D, and then they were kind of reformatted for or converted for 3D. So it wasn't even real 3D, and it's so gimmicky. Yeah. And it's one of those things where it's cool to see if you're as a not installation or art thing for short formats. If you want to watch something like interactive or whatever, but for watching movies, I feel like after a while you kind of forget if it's 3D or not. Anyway, if the movie is really good and you're really like into the story, the fact that it's 2D or 3D doesn't really make much of a difference.
No, it's the experience of the moment.
Yeah.
And there's another thing with the movie that after we watch it and talk about this, it's like. It's not just like the first movie. It's like the similar formula as the same movie because it's a setup for the next one. Because when they did the first one, it was like one shot, we see how it goes. And now with this one, they already have a third one already done.
Yeah.
So,
which is crazy. It's like, how much money are they putting into this movie?
Oh, a lot. This movie's made a ton of money. I think it's like up to $2 billion worldwide or something like that.
Yeah, it's insane. And they're going to make a game out of this franchise, so more movie, more scenes for the game. So I cool with that.
Yeah, more games, more merch. We'll talk about merch later. So I see on our script here, somebody was talking about refinishing the floor in their house.
Yes, indeed.
Oh,
sorry.
How's that going? That's
sorry. I forgot to add my name to it.
Yeah, I was like, oh, I don't know who posted it.
Yeah. So when we put up the nursery for my son, we ripped out the carpet, and underneath there's this beautiful, worn but beautiful hardwood floor underneath. So my husband sanded the floor, stripped it, and then put a new varnish coat down. And it looks beautiful, and it's perfect for the nursery. It reduces the amount of dust and fur that can collect in there because I don't know if you saw my dog come up earlier, but she sheds all the time. Doesn't matter that she's short hair. She sheds all the time. And so my niece just moved out.
Oh.
She has flown the coop. And so I do have a friend who's moving into the space. And I was like, we're ripping up the carpet. There was this huge stain on the ground because my niece had fostered puppies. And they had peed and gotten underneath the puppy pads that then sank into the carpet and sank into the floor and had stained the carpet for years.
Yep.
Well, we ripped up the carpet.
It probably stained the wood too.
It warped and stained the wood almost black.
Oh, wow.
Oh.
And so there was a layer of varnish over it. So my husband sanded it down and it stained past the varnish.
Oh, no.
So, but after sanding it, he got it down to a certain point where like you can see just like little ribbons of stain, but it just looks like normal wood discoloration. And so there are some things that we can do to try to bring that up, but it looks like we're going to be able to recover the floor.
Nice.
Cool.
So right now we're in the
expensive
process
to replace.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. So we're in the process of sanding that down, and we're probably going to have it refinished by this weekend, maybe.
Oh, nice.
And so my friend will be able to move in next weekend. So that's exciting.
Oh, cool.
Nice.
Yeah. But it's a process. I mean, I'm really the meticulous job person. So I went through and I pulled up every single staple. And then once it's sanded, I'm going to go through and fill every single hole with wood putty.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm good at.
Well, that's the detailed work that, like, I know when I've had work done on my house, you know, the crew comes in and they do all the big stuff. And then when they leave, there's like a bunch of mess, like in the corners and everywhere. There's staples. There's like little things, all the detail work that needs to be done for it to really be, you know, nicely, you know, the job to be polished and look really nice when you look up close. And they don't do that. They do the broad strokes. And then you know, if you really want it nice, you got to go in and do those little things yourself.
Yeah. Well, apparently I'm really good at it because I got every single staple fragment.
Yeah.
And yeah,
that's awesome.
So that was my excitement this week.
Yeah. I've got a little bit of that coming up. We're going to replace our kitchen countertops. We're going to replace the old ones with quartz.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
And then eventually we have to decide, do we want to redo the floor in because we just have like the old linoleum in the kitchen? Are we just going to do the kitchen and the dining room, or are we going to do the whole house? And if I do the whole house, then I got to move everything out of the house, right? Oh, that's such a pain in the butt. But if I do the kitchen and I don't do the whole house, I'm going to regret it for years why didn't we just do the whole house and get it done with, right? So that it looks as nice as the kitchen, but we'll figure that out here. Let's see. So what did I do this last week? Oh, I had like the best casual weekend this weekend. So
nice.
My shield maiden was off doing things with her friends. So Saturday, I went and played golf with some buddies, and then came home and played Valheim all day. And then on Sunday,
nice.
We were making it a lazy day, so I played Valheim all day. And so last week was probably the first week in a long time, and I streamed twice last week too. And all on my modded server, everything, because I want all the extra fun stuff. I love the cute little animals and taming them and riding them. It's fun. I role play with them like my little buddies. But so I played probably 20 hours last week, which I haven't done in a long time. So it was fun.
Yeah, I managed to catch one of your live streams. It was actually, I think it was the day I woke up early to go shoot my videos. The reason why I had to go early morning is because I was doing it in my neighborhood in an area where there's usually kids playing, and I was like, I need to go early before, because it's going to be so weird otherwise. I was like, I don't want people to see me like shooting myself dressed up as a weird Viking. I did see at some point there was one person that came through. It was a man with his dog, and I just kind of played it off cool. Yeah.
I do this every day. How you doing?
Yeah. But fortunately, because it was so cold, I think like none of the kids went outdoors to play. So it was good. But yeah, I caught your stream when I was still in bed, actually. I woke up, opened the YouTube app, and Jiroc is live.
Yeah.
And watched your stream for about an hour.
Yeah, I appreciate that. You engaged quite a bit with the voice chat, which is hard to, as you know, it's hard to do when you're streaming, right? Because you're focusing on what you're doing in game. So yeah, having you talk with them and answer their questions was pretty awesome.
The live chat, right? Not the voice chat.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, the live chat. Yeah. So that was fun. I did a bunch of taming and mount riding, and because this mod had a few, the making mounts were new. It was a new part of the mod, and there were a couple of bugs with a few of the mounts. So I contacted the modder. We had messages back and forth, and he's already pushed an update for that based on my feedback. And then he started asking me other things, like he added a squirrel. There's a squirrel, and it drops nuts, and you can eat them and get a little bit of health and stamina from basically you're stealing the squirrel's nuts.
Oh,
I know they do all that work to harvest them or collect them, and you're killing them and taking their nuts.
This is nuts.
Yes, it is.
I did a bunch of troll mining out copper, and I've got one copper node about halfway dug out because I want to do the whole copper fall, trick where you dig underneath it and then it breaks apart. But doing that with the antler pickaxe takes a while. So, but I'm determined to get it done.
What do you mean you don't have like a dynamite mod on the modded server?
Boom!
That would be fun.
Oh yeah, some kind of explosive would be fun. You could explain it that you get it from the Dwerger, right? Like
functional cannons. I've been saying this for ages.
Exactly. You like pointed at the copper node and fire. Boom.
Yes.
So yeah, I'm in the Bronze Age now, which is fun, and we have new boats. So the nice thing is you can actually advance from the raft to, I think there's 2 boats before the carve. So you can actually, and they have just a little bit of storage, so you can actually start sailing early before you have any metal on something better than the raft. And I actually forgot that. So I was sailing on my raft and running around, and I just one day I clicked open my build hammer, and I thought, oh wait, look, there's other ships I can build with just like a whole bunch of wood and resin and stuff. I don't need metal. And I was like, man, I've been playing for hours with the raft. I could be on a better boat. So I immediately went and made it. Yeah. So slow. No storage. Right. So,
yeah.
And it's tricky because we have limited portals. So, I have to like drop my portal, pick it up and then go. And it's, you can't really leave it. But it's fun. You have to do a little bit more planning when you have limited portals. And I kind of like that challenge.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, and so if anybody listening wants to play on my modded server, just go to my website, jiroctheviking.com, or come meet all these cool people over here and others on my Discord, discord.gg/jiroctheviking. And of course, you'll see Gwen the Shield Maiden streaming on my servers on YouTube, and Morning Darkness with 2 5s over on the Twitch. Doing Valheim stuff as well.
Lots of Valheim stuff.
Yeah, which we'll get to here in a shortly.
Yay, more Valheim!
Yeah,
I'm obsessed.
So based on your feedback, and actually, so I put up my merch, and again, I don't make a lot of money on this stuff, but it's a fun thing. I just ordered $150 of the new stuff because I got a new, based on your guys' feedback, and somebody in the chat in my comment suggested, instead of Odin is watching or Odin is watching you or something, I like it nice and short. Odin watches.
Yeah.
Nice.
We don't see it. You have to move our face boxes away. There you go.
Face box is gone. Get the hell out of there.
That looks good. Nice. I like that.
Yeah. This one is really cool.
That one is really cool.
Yeah.
And that's like really good for pretty much anyone who's a fan of Norse anything.
Exactly. It's not just Valheim related.
It's not just Valheim related. Yeah, that's really cool.
Oh, yeah. So I'll, that's what having a community is so great about, because you guys throw ideas at me and I'm like, of course, let's do that. Which is sort of like my whole career. Like people, for anything that I've ever put out there that, as a filmmaker that people have enjoyed, I say, well, yeah, sure, some of those ideas are mine, but that's just me basically filtering all the ideas that are thrown at me and including them. So let's see. So up here you see my logo, which I was talking about, making the blue. I added the Vegvisir in the background, so it's a dark gray on black.
Yeah.
And it looks great on the t-shirt, because remember I was talking about the horizontal design not quite filling up the t-shirt. So now it goes a little bit more vertical.
That looks really nice.
Yeah.
So, and I actually ordered this for myself along with this next thing, which was suggested by Morning Darkness, and it's a giant mouse pad.
I love that. That's huge.
It is. Yeah, this company I use, Teespring, they don't have a regular like standard mouse pad. They have this giant one. So
but that's even better. I think all gamers prefer the giant ones than the tiny weeny ones where your mouse keeps
your mouse will just go off, especially if depending on what you're doing. So yeah, and I have like in front of me, I have like huge desk space, so I can put it right there, and
nice,
pretty cool. And I've gotten 4 or 5 messages, people asking me, can you put the other designs from the t-shirts, like the Loves You and the Odin and the other stuff? So like I have a whole collection of gaming mouse pads, and I'm like, well, of course gamers want gaming mouse pads. So
Right. No, I know that one is going on my birthday wish list. So
yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. So I can't wait to get mine. I'll do a little reveal on camera when I get it. So
yeah, you'll have to show us the new t-shirts and all the merch that you got yourself.
Yeah. Oh, and I got a new hat. You know what? Yeah, I was I forgot to pull up the image, but I made a new hat. I can't wait to get. And it comes in a couple of different colors. The one I got was this version right here.
Nice.
Good.
But yeah, so and it's tricky because this is embroidered, so you have to design it very carefully embroidery because you can only get so much detail, and only I think the color palette's like 8 or 10 colors or something.
Yeah, because thread is limiting. Yeah, I have an embroidery machine, so embroidery can get real interesting.
Yeah, I actually did the font in a couple of different fonts, and I was like, "Ooh, I don't like the way that turned out." So
okay. I
decided to just go with the Norse font, and I kind of like the way it looks. But, well, there you go. There's the merch. Let's see what else we got today. Valheim news. And if you need a new gaming PC or laptop, check out Zydax Computers. I own one and I absolutely love it. And they offer a lifetime desktop parts and labor warranty. Can't get better than that. Just use my link, jiroctheviking.com/Zydax. I guess we should go to Valheim news. I did videos on these and let's see. Let me pull. No, not merch. We've already seen that. We've seen Gwen. This one, right? Get the people out of the way. Get out of there. So let me play this video for you. This was posted by Jonathan, and he says here in the post, working on having hair visible when wearing helmets in Valheim. Now we just need variants of every hat that fit every helmet. Go, Lisa. And here's the video. I'm going to play it. It's a Viking with the white ponytail hair. Boink.
Yay.
And you can still see he's putting on the helmet. For the listeners, he puts on a helmet and the hair is still sticking out.
Yay! That is actually one of the things that bothers me the most about wearing that helmet, which is why I never, ever make it. So this makes me so happy. I can't even, it's so ridiculous how happy this makes me, but it makes me the big happy. Like,
yeah.
Yeah.
I saw this and I was like,
So it's funny because I never wear helmets or hats when I'm playing for that reason, because I just hate how you basically look bald with a weird kind of hat at the top of the head. And so whenever I'm streaming and we get into a hairy situation and people are like shouting in my stream, in my chat, like, put your helmet on, like, why do you not have your full armor on? And I'm like, yeah, but it doesn't look good. And then I forget to actually put the helmet on when I need it. But yeah, I'm so glad because that was so. And same with the I think the worst of all is the Yule hat, because that hat really just sits on the top of your head, and it just makes your head look so silly. Like where usually you're used to seeing the hair, it's just suddenly whoop, hair's gone, and just like that silly hat on top of it.
So are you saying, Gwen, that you prefer the hairy situations and not the hairless situations?
Yes.
Yeah,
definitely.
Well, Valheim. One of the complaints of Valheim, is that you very little to distinguish us from each other, especially if a bunch of people wearing the same armor standing side by side. They all look like the same character, if not for the name floating above the head, right? But this is one more step to, customizing your appearance. Yeah. You all have the same helmet on, but at least you have different hair styles, sticking out. So yeah, it's going in the right direction for that. That's cool. More customization, custom or clothes that aren't armor, things like that. I think I just thought of a segment I can add for 2023, a new segment for the podcast, and that's Jiroc reads YouTube comments. I get your feedback on it.
Oh, let's get the popcorn out.
I know, because some of for the most part, people are so polite and friendly and enthusiastic. However, there is a subsection of the population who just comes in and complains and whines, and their arguments are just terrible arguments. One person literally said something. I responded to exactly the words they said, and then they responded to me, of all the things you would comment for a reply, that's your reply of this? And I was like, I was just responding exactly to the words that you said in your sentence previously. And one of the big complaints was when this video, I put a video out on this hat change with the hair, a bunch of people said, well, this is great, like you all did. But quite a few people said, they're making this priority rather than, optimizing the game and working on upcoming biomes. And I thought, and that's the one I said, no, they're not prioritizing this. They can do this and that, not this or that.
It's like typical armchair software or programmers, right? Like Vaste, more than anyone that in gaming, especially development, is a whole process where there's certain stages at which you have a team that is basically waiting on another team to deliver something. Therefore, instead of twiddling their thumbs, it's better that they work on other stuff in parallel. And it's the same so my sister works in animation, right? And it's the same for her. And Jiroc is probably the same in filmmaking as well. It's like, the post-production team can only start their work once they get all the footage. And it's the same with development. And it's like, why do people just assume that that the whole Iron Gate team, the whole team, including animators, artists, programmers, are all working on the same project all at the same time?
Yeah, I can't believe we're still having this type of comment. It's like, there's been 100 years of optimizing working, because not only software development is a theory that is using since the first industrial revolution.
Henry Ford invented the whole production line thing, right? It's not a new concept, people wake up.
Of course, and we are using the Toyota line now, which is the same that he optimized the ones from Ford. Now we are using the Toshota Style, that is, you have the tasks that need to wait for another task to wait. You won't do it until you have it. Then you do other task. It's just as simple. The helmet is a secondary task because the other one, the priority one, is not ready because they have to wait for the other team.
Yeah.
Right.
And they are actually making the best out of the time doing these small things. So seeing that they are putting their time into this, it means they are not wasting their time.
Yeah, exactly. It's I roll my eyes every time, and I every now and then when I'm in a bit of a toxic mood, I will go and read the comments on Valheim, their official social media posts, because whenever they post an update, you can be guaranteed that there's half the comments are people saying, oh, so you're working on this instead of working on the next biome. It's constantly. And it's to the point where, I mean, it is frustrating for us. I can't even imagine the poor Iron Gate teams having to repeat the same thing over and over. Guys.
Well, I have another example too. The chicken farm video.
Mm-hmm.
People doesn't read the comment that was just posted.
What's the question I got about 100 times on that video, Vaste?
Why it has to be so tall?
Why does it have to be 12 meters up? Yep, or so tall. And I answered it, and I answered it, and I answered it, and then I went and copied and pasted and answered the next 10 times it was asked. And if they just go through and look for, read a comment, they could ignore every comment and just look at the ones that got a reply. And click that, and they would see the reply.
Which are the ones that are first in the list because they have some likes.
Yeah, they're pushed up as what the relevant comments or whatever you see first, right?
Yep.
Yeah. people it's like knee-jerk reaction. They see something and then they just respond. I was going to type it out, but I decided not to, just keep it friendly or ignore it. But I want to, there's a good metaphor for that. Why do you work on this instead of that? Imagine a car manufacturer, right? They've got some recall on a vehicle. And so they're working on fixing that recall. And somebody could say, well, why do they have janitors at that facility that clean out the trash and clean the toilets and clean the break room? Those janitors should be working on those fixes for the cars. Everybody should be working on the fixes for those cars because that's the most important.
Yeah.
But
that's not how life works.
There's a bunch of different employees that do different things, and maybe they're waiting on technology to develop or parts to come. It's just like, that's not how it works.
Yeah.
It's kind of like an irrelevant question, or like it's not a logical question. One of the ways I explained it to people in the past, I've said, what does blue smell like? That's not a logical question because blue doesn't have a smell. It's a conceptual problem with the question. Same thing with why don't they work on this instead of that? That's a conceptual problem with your question.
I know. But what drives me nuts as well is like they keep doing comments like this, even though Iron Gate literally a week ago posted an update with tons of teasers about the Ashlands showing that they're actually already kind of, well into the process of making that next biome, even though Mistlands just came out less than a month ago. Yeah. And they're still working on fixes and patches and bugs from Mistlands. So they're already like working on the next biome. And they literally in their blog posted about trying to be more transparent and all of that so people can understand, and which is the right approach for them. I guess it's their way to educate people so that, they stop getting those repetitive comments. But at this point, I feel like people who post that kind of stuff, they're just trolling. They're just trolling. They know it's irrelevant. They just do it because, they're jumping on the bandwagon of everyone else saying the same thing. It's just trolling.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there's even a comment from them from a year ago when they did the Abomination update. Because this question came again because why are they doing a small update instead of Mistlands? And they literally say, we have two teams because not everyone can do the same thing at the same time. Yeah. It's not efficient. So literally, the helmet is the second team working in secondary things to add to the game.
Yeah.
Exactly. I mean, like anyone... Yeah, I mean, it's the same in any tech development or any kind of manufacturing process or anything really. You don't have 100% of the staff working on one thing. You have dedicated teams that work on the next products or the new products, while the other ones take care of maintaining the old products. Or it's just so illogical to me that people are still stuck with that. It's like
it is true that at some point you might want everyone in the same task, but that is not until you have every log task, every task that log other things flesh out. Like Q&A, everyone can do Q&A, but until you don't have everything done, no one can do Q&A except the guy that is responsible of doing the early Q&A.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Since we brought up this segment, I'll read you one YouTube comment, my response, and then
you doing it?
Their response. Right, this is going to introduce this segment here. So, this you can go find the person's name if you're really interested, because I haven't deleted the comment. It wasn't like super rude to me or anything, but if it gets more out of hand, I might delete it. But he or she says, "Wow!" Exclamation mark. So very passionate. Wow. Exclamation mark. Out of all the things they could be working on to actually make this game even better, they picked this to be a priority. Seriously? Question mark. Wow. That is like this person is mad that they are not making other things a priority to make the game even better. So he thinks it's really good, but he wants it even better, right? So I responded, it's not priority, in quotes, they have people working on different things, this and that, not this or that. Then they reply, wow! Exclamation mark. Exact same way.
Wow. What's that actor's name? The blonde one. You know the one. Yes. Is it Owen Wilson?
Wow. So, wow. Out of all the things you could have commented, you choose this? You do realize separate people can be hired to work on side things while the main team works on the priority. Seriously? Question mark. I'm just like, I don't even.
That was their response?
That was their response. It's completely illogical.
So, they basically just counter-argumented with themselves.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, as I'm saying, it's just trolls at this point.
Yeah. Well, it's like it's actually kind of, they really stand out to me when I get them, because like I said, most of the Valheim community is pretty kind, really. Like they encourage me to make videos. They say how much they enjoy them, or they are just really like excited about the changes for news updates that Valheim is doing, and realize that all good things in time, right? Everything takes time. But I also love that comment where, they should just hire more people. They took all of our money, so they should just hire more people. I'm like, well, they can develop it the way that they want. It's their game. I mean, who are you to tell them?
So it's like where does the money come from? Because hiring people costs money, and then you have to have,
and it takes time to train.
Exactly.
That's the thing for me. Like they are using that money. They are hiring new people.
They have hired people.
But they are taking their time to train each person, so that making sure that the person fits the community, to make sure that they understand the goal and the vision, and there's so they're thoughtfully using the money that we have spent to perpetuate what they are creating, to maintain the dream. I mean, like. How incredible is that? How often do game developers work so methodically and thoughtfully?
Yeah, I know. I just wonder, these kind of comments make me wonder, do all gaming studios get that sort of backlash? And if so, is there a different treatment of indie game developers versus the larger ones?
Well, because
that sort of comments you wouldn't get outside of the industry. Like you wouldn't go to Microsoft and be like, "Oh, Windows 11 was crap. Why did you not hire more people to make it better or whatever?" Like,
right.
Well, that's specific to a small successful company, right? So why don't you hire? You've taken all of our money, so why don't you hire more people and spend more money to make it better? It's like, wait, are you kind of insinuating that this is not a good game and they need to hire more people to make it better? Because it's a great game, and whatever they do to make it, to add content or make it better, is just, the icing on top, right? It's like, it's bonus because it's already a great game. I already got my $20 worth, right? So,
yeah.
I think this is going to be a great segment. Look how passionate we are too, and responding to the comments and the. Seriously,
I feel like we're going to get lots of hate, though.
It's fine. That generates more hits.
Wow!
I we are going the villain route now.
We're becoming the baddies. No, I think. I mean, again, a lot of it is probably just lack of education on how things actually work in gaming development. But I feel like we've talked about it so much, and other people, and like even Iron Gate themselves, are explaining the process. And at that point, after all this, if people still go on about the same stuff, I just would ignore them, because it's at that point they're just trolling. They're just trying to get a reaction, or just, I don't know. People on the internet can be interesting.
That's why I pretty much avoid Twitter outside of, again, the Valheim community stuff. Like, I only look at my Jiroc the Viking Twitter feed. I never look at my personal feed. And every time something political or some other weird thing comes up on there, or I always just like, not interested. Keep it related to Valheim, not interested.
Right.
And there's other forums that can be very toxic too, like Reddit.
Oh yeah.
I've had even a Valheim Reddit. I think that's where some of the others who are a little bit, less polite in the Valheim community go, is to Reddit. Not everybody, there's polite people there too, but the most impolite Valheimer I have found are on Reddit. So there's that. Let's see. Oh, another Valheim news update. We were talking about Valheim news. Let's get back to it.
Yes.
Oh, true,
Yes.
Yeah.
So we have this from Valheim. Like we said in our blog post the other day, we want to show more of the Valheim development process currently. Robin is trying out different concepts for the Ashlands tier weapons, and I did a video on this too. And you can't see it because all of our melons are in the way. Every time I do that, you got to go doodaloo, doodaloo, and I'll know. Yep. Oh, you're trying to dispel the heads from the screen. So yeah, they put out this picture of the concept weapons, and this last one. Let's talk about that too, real quick. I'll zoom in, and I actually I got an inside scoop on the last weapon. I got a different image than what everybody else saw. There you go. That's the last weapon. It's a ball peen hammer. An old one too. You run up and go, bop, give him the business.
Nice. We needed more hammers in the game, right?
Well, so somebody in my YouTube comments pointed out the and I've been spreading this around too now. Frostner. Eldner. Mm-hmm. So the speculation is that it is literally going to be a one-handed hammer of some kind.
Mm-hmm.
And
probably a flame one.
It's right. If it's Ashlands, it should probably be flame. Yeah.
Using flametal.
Flametal. Yeah. So you just imagine, put this ball peen hammer on fire, and then that's the new weapon.
Boom, job done.
Yeah.
Ashlands next week.
But something interesting too about this, check out these one-handed swords. Oh, the crystals in them. See the crystal in the center? Some people were suggesting that these stones aren't literally floating above the sword, which is kind of what it looks like in a picture, but that would seem kind of weird. Maybe you get that stone and you refine it into this crystal for the sword. That seems to make sense, huh?
Yep, that's totally what I thought when I saw that.
I think
it's like that is lightsabers.
I think that's only a concept for the color of the sword, not even that we see we will see in game.
That's how I interpreted it as well.
This is a really early concept for what it looks like because they still haven't decided the theme, which is kind of worrying.
Did you see Smithy just posted this today or yesterday? He says, "What would you expect to see from the Mistlands?" I like the Ashlands. What would you like to see from the Ashlands? So it's like they're fishing for some fun ideas for the Ashlands.
Oh, I did not see that. I'll have to go look at that.
Yeah.
When I saw these three swords, what I interpreted, and again, I'm not like fully up to date on Mistlands yet because I haven't yet like fully explored it, but I know there's like different types of magic, right? And the magic that you can use in the Mistlands, one of them is kind of pink red. There's definitely some blue stuff, which is the frost or lightning things, and that seems to be lightning, not frost, actually.
Yeah, lightning.
And then the middle one, I'm not sure, but I thought that these were related. Yeah, I thought that these were related to the three different types of magic that you can unlock in the Mistlands, and that those new swords are kind of like magical swords based on whatever the magic source that you're using.
Mm-hmm.
Yes and no. Because the theme goes with the sword in Mistland, the new sword, which is not exactly magical, goes with the same theme as the Frostner. So I think you will need the Black Forge to make these weapons, and I think the elemental theme will be even more important in the Ashlands. Now in Mistlands, almost all weapons have elemental damage. I think it's just getting even more present in Ashlands.
Yeah. Interesting to speculate. And then, of course, we have, let's see, something else over here. Two-handed axes.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, of course. Dual axe handling.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, dual wield axe. And they're slightly different, at least in this design. This one, like, a pointy goes up. And this one doesn't go up, but it has, like, the spear or a pointy bit in the back.
We have already the dual knife, so why not axe?
Yeah. In my video, I was saying, so are you going to go up to a tree and you're going to hit the tree like this now? That would be fun, actually. So, yeah. And then, yeah. Just imagine it's on fire and got that black smoke around it, too. So, yeah. Fun I find it fun that they're sharing this stuff with us.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because it's just like, it's literally, even if like they don't even include anything like this, or there's something like this, it's exact, or it's somewhat related. It's just fun. Like, it's a way for us to engage with them throughout the time, because if they're silent for so long, we're not engaging with them. And a few of them, like, Smith A and Jonathan and Grimcore and a few others, like, they're really, like, they enjoy speaking with the fans, right? And it's fun for us too. So it's just excitement. It's just fun. Like, that's why I like to follow the development and not just, here's the update, now go explore everything. We have no idea what we're getting. I like the process. The process is fun, and the creative process and the interactive process. But there is something to be said about not knowing anything too. But, maybe they save a few things to surprise us instead of giving everything. Like with the new quest giver, what was her name? You guys remember?
Hilda.
Oh, Hilda?
Yeah.
Hilda's quest? Hilda quest. Like, there's supposed to be some kind of unique special quest involved. And I was specifically told, it's not like MMO, but, where there'll be a bunch of quests added to the game, but there's some special kind of quest associated with her. But I don't want to say too much, because then it would spoil it. So, maybe they're going to save that for us to actually get in game and give it a try.
Yeah.
When you think about it, the finding Haldor to be able to go and buy stuff is almost like a quest in itself.
Absolutely.
It does take time to go and find it.
And like, so searching for boss locations too. That's like a quest. Yeah. It's an activity that you have to do, that the game, like, overall has just set up as a quest for you. You have to find it. Yeah. Cool. Let's see what else we got. Okay, that's a Mistlands news. Oh, I was going to show you Smith A's post here.
Oh yeah.
So right here he says this was just on the 24th. So today, brainstorming stuff. What would be something cool you would find in Ashlands? No promises, since I don't create things. And of course, I wrote huge fire wargs that we can tame and ride with a fireproof saddle, of course.
I don't want to burn your butt.
I looked up warg. They're actually Norse.
Yeah.
Wargs are actually a Norse thing. So maybe we'll see some kind of warg down there. That would be fun.
That'd be so cool.
The mod that has fire wargs, by the way, in Ashlands. They're awesome. I see. But what were you going to say, Gwen?
Well, it's interesting to see the direction that they're taking overall with the Ashlands, because I think a lot of us were kind of assuming that because of the Surtlings, that Surtling comes from Surtur, which is I think it's a fire giant in Norse mythology, and also flammetal, and kind of everything looks very fiery in the Ashlands, and I mean Ashlands as well. I think everyone was kind of expecting there to be Surtur, like a giant, either fire giant or the boss from the Ashlands to be Surtur. You have to defeat the fire giant. So I hope that they keep that theme, because right now it looks like the bosses and the mobs that they're developing with a Chard and the other one that looks horrible. It's now looking more like a horror thing.
Because they are changing the theme. They actually say Ashlands will be the land of
it's a shame though.
You can play with hell and all the mythology of hell.
The land of the dead. I mean, like, swamps are we already have undead. We already have skeletons, and we already have the Draugr. So it's like, do we need more undead things? Can't we have some fiery things instead?
Could we have an undead fire giant?
Oh my God.
Yeah, I mean,
isn't that sort of what? Anyway. Oh no, my voice is going again. I was gonna say, it's funny, I actually mentioned that, and Smithe was like, "Oh, a Marvel fan, are you?" And I'm like, "No, Surtur is actually part of Norse mythology as well. Thank you very much. That's not just a Marvel thing." But it was funny. It was really funny because he was like, "Oh," and I'm like, "Hey, now wait a minute. I do know some of my Norse mythology."
Marvel didn't invent Asgard,
right?
Yeah. Well. Norse mythology was, and a lot of the world's mythologies, I learned from playing Dungeons and Dragons as a kid.
Oh yeah,
around like 10 years old, 11 years old, when I first heard about Dungeons and Dragons, and then looked up the books, and they have all the different gods and the mythos from the different parts of the world, and that's how I got to learn. One of the ways I got to learn. Oh, wait, there's not just one religion in the world that I grew up with. My parents, exposed me to. It's like, oh, there's other religions. And oh, look at all these cool, gods and creatures and mythology. And oh, I loved reading about all that stuff. It was so much fun.
Nice.
Let's see. So new videos posted. Of course, I did do the Ashlands weapons, get in there and look at them all in a lot of detail. I showed the big changes to the helmets. I go in game to show you what Gwen is talking about. See, I actually have a really long, beautiful mane of hair behind, not just my beard, but because I put a hat on, it makes me look like I'm bald and all my hair disappears.
So does that mean that your hair will reappear after they release that hat?
Yeah, with the update, I'll take my hat off, put my hat on, and all my hair will be all down my shoulders.
Oh.
I see. It would actually be funny if you
I have a wig
suddenly
for that.
had long hair.
Oh my gosh, Jiroc, I have a wig for you. We need to meet up, and I'll get it to you.
Yeah, when they do that patch, I definitely need to do that. Hey, look at the update, everybody! You can see my hair with my hat on.
Yes. Oh my gosh, let's do this.
That would be funny. Hey, everybody! That was just the first half of the podcast. I hope you enjoyed it. If you'd like to listen to the full podcast, which should be about twice as long as what you've just heard, you can gain access to it as a Patreon supporter, and you can support me for as low as $2.99 per month and gain access to the full podcast each week. I hope you consider supporting me, and if for any reason you're unable to support me on Patreon, you can also use my PayPal donation link or the YouTube join button. Thank you. Your support really means a lot to me. Skål.